All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of Dom and Gonz Sports Talk, the show where we not only talk about everything Baltimore Ravens but around the NFL. And this evening, welcome back to another post-game live. Well, not directly post-game live, but our NFL Week 7 wrap-up / Ravens post-game edition. You know, we do these sometimes on a couple days after the Ravens finish, but we're here. We're ready to talk about it, as well as some other moves that happened around the league today with some trades. So we're going to talk all about it, break it all down. But we'll start with that Ravens victory against the Buccaneers, 41-31. Pretty exciting game. But anyway, I'm Gonz. That's Dom, and we're about to get started. Dom, how you feeling? Everything going good?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Celebrate another victory. Hard to believe we were 0-2. 5 straight. Talk to us nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And another dazzling performance by Lamar in this offense, and they look like they are, just continuing to get this train rolling. And this offense looks unstoppable, and it looks great week in and week out. Sorry. So let's go ahead and jump right into this game. From the start, it looked a little rough. Ravens went down in the 10-0 hole. Buccaneers came out firing on all cylinders, going down the field, scoring the touchdown to Mike Evans, who seemed to aggravate that hamstring on that first drive as he was hobbling on the sideline. More to come on that very, very shortly. Then Baltimore, on its second possession, after taking 2 terrible sacks from 2 big Buccaneer blitzes on their first drive, got their train rolling, and ended up going down and scoring a touchdown. Lamar Jackson finds Mark Andrews wide open in the middle, and he takes it right in. His first of 5 touchdowns on the night. We had the Jackson 5 again, so that was pretty awesome. And then after that, this Ravens offense just rolled. They really did. They kept scoring. They scored on 6 straight possessions, whether it be touchdowns and then a couple field goals as well from Tucker, a long one from Tucker to open up the second half. So that was very nice. Another screen sighting. This Ravens offense is becoming a very elite screen team, meaning that this line knows how to block them. We know how to run these screens now. It's something we never did with Roman. But Monken has really brought that upon us this season, and I love to see it. Justice Hill scampering on in there for a touchdown to give us our first lead in the second quarter, and that was just a wonderful thing to see. And we were getting everyone involved as well. I mean, Zay Flowers kind of a quiet day. I know he injured his ankle, but he remained in the game the entire rest of the way, so that was okay. Bateman absolutely went off last night, or 2 nights ago, with 4 catches, 121 yards, and a touchdown, and that was awesome. So once Zay Flowers kind of went back into the shadows a little bit, out comes Bateman, and that is just wonderful to see. Okay, Zay Flowers had back-to-back 100-yard games, and now Bateman comes out with a 100-yard game. So that is phenomenal. Loved it. Mark Andrews, 2 touchdowns. Okay, he had his first on the opening drive, and then he had another one into the second half. So this offense, man, a lot to be excited about. Pretty good job by the O-line as well. Aside from that first drive where they just let the Buccaneers blitz right on through, they were pretty solid overall. I mean, and then Derrick Henry, another 100-yard game. They had him bottled up for the most part, but then you know he's going to get loose. He's going to break a long one on you if you're not careful, and that's what he does. He wears teams down in the second half, and that's where he gets his magic. That's where he eats. That's where he gets his yardage. You just love to see it. You love to see it. Nobody wants to tackle that in the second half. We've been saying it all year, and he just continues to show us why. I mean, he had another receiving touchdown. He didn't have a rushing touchdown, but he had a receiving touchdown, and it's just great. This offense was wonderful. And I'm so excited. So excited to see where they can go. I just want them to be able to play like this deeper down the road, because we have a lot of football left. Okay, we're almost to the halfway point. But, yeah, great showing by the offense. What did you think?
Yeah, I think it was spectacular showing by the offense. I mean, when your game totals look like 17 in the second, 17 in the third, and then 7 in the fourth, I mean, you're definitely doing something right offensively. I mean, again, Bateman Like, I've been calling for a Bateman 100-yard game for a very, very long time, and boy, did we get it. So I'm super happy for Bateman. It's just like you said, it's kind of nice to see that we can have these guys step up when they need to step up. Zay, is a little wobbled up. Well, not wobbled up, but he was a little banged up, I should say, out there on the field. So what happens? I mean, Bateman, 4 catches, 121 yards, 1 touchdown. I mean, if that ain't stepping up, I don't know what is. Lamar was wheeling and dealing, 5 incompletions, 5 touchdowns. I'll take that any day of the week. For Lamar, offensive line is just continuing to improve every week. Yes, it was a little bit shaky in that first quarter, but you just saw Lamar settle in. He settled in after that drive, and he started getting the ball out of his hands like way quicker than before. And then he just absolutely annihilated the blitz after that first quarter. I mean, I think he went like 166 for 3 touchdowns and like maybe 2
Mhm.
incompletions on the blitz. Like, that's insane. Like, what a like. I feel like this was a couple of years ago. We don't see that.
Mm-mm.
Now we're just like, dude, he's wheeling and dealing, even getting blitzed. Like, hit the maturity we've seen from him from, like, of course, his first year to now. It's been nothing but improvement. And I mean, that's just beautiful to see. Derrick Henry going off. I mean, at this point, do we even? I feel like that should just be the mantra: Derrick Henry going off, because he does it every week. It's starting to get a little scary. Uh, like you said, he was bottled up in the first half, and then because we didn't see him a lot in that second quarter. A lot of Justice Hill in that second quarter, and it was just like, oh, is Derrick Henry hurt? Like, what is actually going on? So we didn't see him, and then he busts the run for like 81 yards, and it's like, oh shoot, there he is. Like, it's just really crazy how he can just turn it on at any time. Like,
He,
that's nuts. Like,
he stayed
15
fresh
carries
the whole game.
the whole game. Like
Mhm.
15 carries, 169 yards. Are you nuts? Like, that's crazy to me.
Mhm.
But yeah, shout out to Mark Andrews, now the leading Ravens touchdown scorer, most touchdowns in Ravens history. Shout out to Big Mark, half man, half Drews. Wouldn't love to see anybody else get it but him. I know everybody's had their questions about him, like, oh shoot, where's Andrews at? You know what I'm saying? He's not getting the touches, but Lamar knows when he needs a tutty, he knows who to go to, and he showed that. But yeah, offensively, I just have to say, I mean, this team just keeps getting better offensively. The trust is there with Lamar and his receivers. It's just this is just beautiful to see. We knew that this is what this offense could be. We knew that, coming in, Bateman was going to have to, show us what he can do, and he's been showing us that and then some. Justice Hill in the pass game is still nuts. He took a screen for a touchdown. This is beautiful to see. I love seeing Lamar be able to wheel and deal like this. He's like second in the league in passing touchdowns right now. Like, it ain't just running right now. He's dealing. I mean, on the game he had 52. He had 9 carries for 52 yards, but I mean, a lot of it was his arm. I mean, he had a 158 passer rating. Like, I don't know, man. After he got sacked those 2 times, he didn't get sacked again. So I
Mhm.
mean, obviously, like, he's like people are saying, and a lot of these like moderators and commentators are saying, like, the game is looking a lot slower to him. I don't like it feels like he's processing things at a different level right now, and it's it's beautiful to see. I love that for him. I knew he was good. Like, every year he's gotten better, and it's just like, you love to see that from a quarterback, because he's just not okay with mediocrity. He just wants to keep getting better. So, great offensive showing all around for this team. Shaky in that first quarter, but they got it together quick, and that's what we love to see.
Yeah, well, he said in the press conference he's chasing something, and we know what the ultimate goal is. They got to execute when it matters. We know we've seen this story before, but yeah, this offense is actually way better than anything I've seen recently. It's better than last year so far. So if they can just keep this rolling through the rest of the year, why can't they get there? Why can't they get to the Super Bowl? But anyway, yeah, shout out to Lamar. Shout out to beating the blitz. That ends that narrative. Lamar can beat the blitz now. Do not blitz us, or we will make you pay. I mean, we've done a really good job of that. And yeah, you said Derrick Henry, 162 yards. He's chasing that record. He's over 800 yards already. He could hit the 1,000-yard
We're
marker next week.
seven games in.
Yeah.
By the way, for anybody even needs to know. We are 7 weeks into the NFL, and he's like less than 200 yards away from 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
That is nuts. Like for
Yeah.
anyone to process that, like it's nuts what he's doing right now. And I know we're gonna get to this a little bit later, but F the Titans. You'll know why later. I'll keep going. We're moving on to the next segment.
Well, we also thank the Titans for letting us get Henry.
Well, thank you, but
Yeah.
also F you.
Well,
But we'll move on to that later.
it's fine. Maybe he'll be washed. Um, um, so yeah. Now let's talk about the defense. Offense, congrats. Now let's see some more of it. We've got another tough test against the Browns defense next Sunday. So let's see if we can put on a show. Defensively, so they started off rough, but Marlon Humphrey really helped us get going with those back-to-back interceptions in the second quarter. One of them, Baker, and both of those were just on Baker mostly. I mean, he had all day in the pocket, and he just fires one in the end zone. Marlon makes a nice little play on it, lets his guy go, drops back into coverage on the wide open guy, and intercepts him. And then the second one, I don't know what the second one was. Baker just horrible read. There were two defenders. Wiggins could have had the pick, but Humphrey ended up getting it. So yeah, shout out to Marlon Humphrey for having 4 interceptions this year and having his first multi-interception game as a Baltimore Raven. So that's kind of crazy because we always clowned him for dropping picks. Like now he's got the most on the team. So that's good. That's good to see. Hopefully he did get dinged up after the second one with the knee injury. He did miss practice today, so hopefully he's okay. I wouldn't rush him back. Let's let him get healthy. But yeah, we'll talk about injury reports in the next episode. But yeah, shout out to Humphrey for really jump-starting this defense. And then this defense went on to get 6 straight stops. So while people, all they want to look at is the bad at the end of the game, there was some good. I mean, this defense just needs consistency. There are times when this team looks good and they know what they're doing and they get good penetration and good stops, although the pass rush wasn't very existent yesterday. But they were playing well as a unit in the little middle of the game, like second and third quarter, because they stopped the Buccaneers 6 straight times, which is pretty good. It was just those garbage time points. It makes the score look a little bit more prettier if you're the losing team. But yeah, just too many blown assignments in that fourth quarter. Obviously, the game was still out of reach because the Ravens offense had put up so many points, putting up 40. It just would have been nicer to see them not allow the Buccaneers to just waltz down the field a couple times there in the fourth quarter, especially on that Rashad White touchdown when there was just no one near him. Just dumped it off to the running back, no one even on the screen. It was kind of pathetic. So yeah, while a lot of people, immediately after the game yesterday, the knee-jerk reaction was this defense is really bad. We got to fix it. And while I do agree they need to shore up some things, especially in the passing game, the pass rush department. They also should shore up a couple things in the back end. But I think the pass rush is more important because that'll help your secondary. If we can get more pressure, the less work the secondary has to do. I mean, I think we've got some guys in the secondary that were playing pretty well yesterday. I know they had their lapses in the fourth quarter where they were blowing assignments, but we can clean that up. They just got to get consistent, honestly. And if we could get one more pass rusher, like a really good pass rusher, and I get they signed Yannick Ngakoue, but I just don't feel like that guy can be the dynamic pass rusher that he once was when Saxonville was alive. I know we can't get Max Crosby. He kind of shut that down today, but if we could get somebody like that, maybe Zadarius Smith, who could even be half of what Crosby is, I feel like that would do wonders for this team. I mean, Oweh did get a sack, so shout out to Oweh for getting back on the board. And Kyle Van Noy got one as well. So they did sack Mayfield 3 times, but overall he was not under pressure hardly at all. He was kind of sitting back there and picking us apart. So while I don't blame – the one thing I will blame the secondary for was the missed coverage assignments, just the blown assignments, people wide open. But you can't get too angry about them, getting beat by their guys at times because Baker had no pressure. I mean, these wideouts are pretty good. I mean, Chris Godwin is really good. Kate Otten is a rising young tight end. And they got that 15, what's his name? McCollum? I can't remember. 15 for the Buccaneers, a rookie wide receiver. He could be a rising star as well.
Oh,
So
McMillan. I think his name McMillan.
McMillan.
That
Okay,
was
McCollum must have
McMillan.
been the
Yeah.
defender, the 27, the defensive back. So yeah, just they need to clean some things up. I don't know if it's coaching or players. Might be a little bit of both. I mean, a lot of people were really getting tired of Zachary Orr. I mean, I don't feel like that it's time to quit on him yet. This team has the potential to be a good defense. They just got to play 4 quarters of it. We've seen good flashes of it. That's my biggest takeaway. But yes, we need to make some, and we'll talk about moves in a little bit. But yeah, if we could get our pass rush on track, I think that'll help us tremendously in the defensive side of the ball. But yeah, I would give the defense like a C minus grade for the night. It was going to be an A, and then that fourth quarter was pretty bad. But it's all right. We had enough points to win. They didn't throw the game. And one more point before I let you break it down. The onside kicks, like, come on, man. So while we can chastise the defense, it doesn't help when you give up a long drive and you're tired, and then you give up an onside kick. You got to go right back on the field for a short field for the other team. I mean, come on, man. We've got to stop giving up onside kicks. If Zay Flowers is your guy for onside kicks, maybe think about changing it, because that's 2 times now where we've given that up. I'm getting a little bit sick of it, right? So Harbaugh, you're a special teams coach. Get that cleaned up. I'm tired of letting teams get onside kicks to make games closer, because they shouldn't be this close. We should have a lot more blowout wins this year, and that is one of the biggest factors, along with the defense, on why teams are climbing back into games. But anyway, yeah, those 2 things. Defense, shore it up in the fourth. Special teams, learn how to recover onside kicks. What do you think? How's this defense, in your opinion? Should we
Yeah, man.
panic?
I think I don't know. I think you hit the nail on the head with that one word, and that's consistency. We don't have it on the defensive end right now. It's like our pass game, even like we were like the number 1 run defense in the league, and the Bucs were still able to run a good amount. Like that first quarter, they were running on us now. I mean, they had 125 total yards rushing. We were only allowing 59 rush yards per game. Like that's inexcusable. And then the pass game, I mean, I was nervous going into this Monday night game, because I knew, first of all, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, excuse my language, tore our ass up in that shootout game. So when you got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, who are dogs, and, shout out to, prayers up for both of them. I know they're battling injuries. Chris Godwin, dislocated ankle. Hopefully he heals up soon. But, I mean, dude, we got our ass tore up. We were getting tore up in that first quarter. I mean, Baker was looking like Brady, just throwing dots. I mean, that touchdown to Mike Evans to start the game, I mean, dude, he could have – Baker had so much time in the pocket. Like, he could have called his girl, ordered lunch, make dinner reservations for next week. Like, it's just no consistency yet. And I can't say I want to give up on Orr, because, I mean, we had to give Mike Mack some grace too. Like, remember, that defense was not perfect when he took it over initially. I mean, it took time to build that consistency. It took time to build that skill and, like, chemistry with each other. It took a minute. It took a couple of games. I mean, if you compare the stats from Mike's first couple of games to Zach Orr's couple of games, I mean, it's not really that too far apart as far as, like, what the defense was producing when they were coaching it. I just think, man, I know we're gonna get to moves in a minute, but I mean, dude, some of the teams we still have to face later in this year. I mean, I'm afraid of 2 of these teams that have dynamic receiver threats. I mean, dude, we still have the Eagles on the schedule. We have the Texans on the schedule. We see the Texans on Christmas. We still see the Bengals one more time. I mean, like, it's just, we have to get some consistency on the defensive end of the ball. And I know we can do it. I'm not giving up on Zach Orr yet. It's his first year coaching. We gave Mike Mack some grace, and we saw what that defense turned into when he was coaching it. I think we just have to give it time, but we have to be able
Full season,
to
at least.
Yeah, we have to be able to give it time. And we have to clean up the penalties. The penalties are becoming a little much for this team. We're like the 4th most penalized team in the NFL. We got to chill out with that. I think the last time I checked on Monday night, it was like 9 penalties for like almost damn near 100 yards.
A
I think
lot
it was like 85.
in our defense, though. A lot of those were garbage
They were
calls.
garbage
Yeah.
calls. Some of them were garbage calls, I will say. Refs were kind of bad for both sides of the ball, for both teams
There weren't
on
too
Monday night.
many defensive penalties, if I remember. A lot of them were on the
Yeah, a lot of it
offensive side.
was
Yeah.
offensive. A lot of it was offensive. But as far as the defense continued, as I was saying, dude, we just have to find consistency.
Mm-hmm.
We have to find it because I mean, right now this defense cannot stop the Chiefs in the playoffs. And I know I'm thinking way too far ahead because we're only in week 8. But man, I mean that's what's on my mind right now. I know that's what's on their mind. I know they're gonna say we're taking it one game at a time, and I know they are. But I know we know what's circled. I mean, we know what team has our number. And
we
I keep
got
telling
a long time to get this straightened out. I feel like, yeah, I'm not worried too much because now if we were stringing together performances like the Bengals where we just can't do anything on defense, I'd be very concerned. But the fact that we are showing flashes of playing well more and more and more and more each week, I think we can get a full game in soon.
But my counterpoint to that is that we did play very, very well in this Monday night game, but we didn't really find that consistency defensively until Mike Evans went down.
That's true.
I mean, you have to look at it like that, honestly. And I hate to say it because I hate to see Mike Evans go down, but that was kind of that. I feel like that kind of helped in a way because that's two. You only have to worry about one dynamic receiver, not two. And then at that point, like honestly, if Mike Evans does not get injured on that drive, I think that game turns into another Bengals game. And I hate to say that, but I think almost it would have turned into another shootout. I don't know if we would have consistently got the stops. I don't know. Like obviously, like we won the game, and I'm thankful for that. But I'm really looking at it as like, man, if Mike Evans doesn't go down, what if? You know what I mean? Is it like is the score what we're looking at right now because they're scoring more? Because they didn't score in that second and third quarter. They didn't score at all.
Well, we did lose Marlowe in our defense, though.
We did lose Marlowe too. But and it's like, I mean, when your defensive focal point has to go from guarding 2 dynamic receivers to only having to worry about 1, it's kind of like, you know, that's when the run game kind of slowed up a little bit for them too. So at that point, I'm just saying, like, dude, we have to be able to guard these teams who have dynamic talent. Because again, we're going to see it later in this year in the regular season. And if we make the playoffs, we're going to see it in the playoffs. So we have to find the defensive consistency. I don't know if I don't feel like we're not talented on defense. We have the talent. I really feel like we do. I just think we have to work on building better communication because that's pretty much like there's no reason why every week people should be saying, oh, damn, Ravens, another blown coverage. Like it's just we have blown coverages almost damn near every game. We have to fix the communication. We have to fix the communication. That's the only way this defense glues together. We have to fix the communication, and we have to get better on the pass rush because if you're giving these quarterbacks time to let these receivers develop routes or maybe come back from routes so they can get first downs, like you're going to wear out your secondary.
That's my biggest concern, the lack of pass rush, honestly.
Yeah, and the pass rush, good point. Like, you're going to wear out your secondary if the secondary is over here trying to chase guys coming back on routes, having to consistently, like, chase guys running routes. The pass rush has to build up more. And it's crazy I'm saying this because last year, it was nuts. Like we were leading the league in sacks, we were going nuts, and it's just like this year it's not there.
Well, in our defense last night, Buccaneers have a very good O-line. I think it's the top 2 O-line in the NFL.
They do. It's a good O-line.
If we can, next week we play the Browns, where Watson has been sacked numerous times. Okay, before he went down. By the way, yeah, torn ACL for him. We'll be going against Jameis Winston on Sunday. This is our chance to show us that, you know, we can give all the credit to the Buccaneers and say they just played a good game. If this pass rush struggles again against a weaker O-line, I'll be pretty concerned. And that should be an alarm to immediately trade for another rusher. So I'm going to give the credit to the Bucs right now, and then we'll see what happens next week. We play 2 suspect O-lines in a row. Denver, which is the weekend after, and then we got Cleveland this week. So we've got pass rush has some chances to showcase that it might have just had an off night. Because I thought they did. I mean, yeah, Jaden Daniels had some time too, but I thought they cranked it up in the fourth quarter a little bit when they, got to him a couple times when it mattered the most. So we'll see. Yes, but it has not been nearly as good as it was at the beginning of the year. Beginning of the year, it was great. I mean, we were 0-2, but they had 8 sacks in 2 games. And they got after Prescott a bunch, and same for Allen, and then it kind of just disappeared. So we need to get that back. So I'll chalk it up to the Bucs, but let's see how we do on Sunday in that department.
Yeah. I mean, I'll give it to the Bucs. You have a great O-line, but I mean, this isn't the only great O-line we're going to face. So, I mean, as much as I do agree with that sentiment, I mean, you still have to try to find a way. You know what I mean? And I feel like I also leave that to Zach Orr, to be able to like scheme up some good blitzes. You know what I'm saying? Arthur Millette is coming back this weekend. He's our best blitzing DB. I mean, what schemes are he going to be in? I don't know. Low key waiting to find out. But I'm just hoping that we can, whether we make a move or whether this pass rush just decides to build up a little bit more, we got to see some changes. We got to see some improvement. I will say we just have to see improvement because, like I said, I mean, we face some good teams going into the end of the year. The Eagles have a great O-line, you know what I mean? So we got to face them, and then the Texans O-line is a little bit. I mean, I'm not gonna say
bad.
Great. It's not.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's not. Like it's not blowing your socks off. I feel like if we do get
that,
I know
they're
that's
one of the weaker ones. I mean, Green Bay just absolutely destroyed them, and they're not even very good at rushing the passer.
I mean, Rashawn Gary on that
could
team,
be the downfall of the Texans is their offensive line. I mean, that's pretty. Stroud had a terrible game.
Yeah, I saw
10 for
one clip.
86. Yikes.
Yeah, I saw one clip where I think it was like the right tackle. He just got mollywopped, pushed to the ground by the edge rusher, by an edge rusher on the Packers. So I mean, but either way, I don't want that to be Lamar. It hasn't been Lamar, so thank you.
All right. Well, I have one more question before we move on to the panic factor for this Ravens defense. 1 being low, 10 being the highest. Where are you at as of week 8? Well, rising week 8.
I think I'm at a 4. Right now.
So you're not quite to the panic level yet.
I'm not ready to hit the panic button just yet. I'm not even halfway there. I think I just need to see. I'm trying to see if they show me something. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to give it more grace because again, I know it's a new system. It's a new thing to learn. I mean, we're 7 weeks in. I mean, we've had to face some pretty great quarterbacks in the first 7 weeks. So I will say, I mean, it's been a challenge.
That's true.
For a new defense, for a new defensive scheme and a new defensive coordinator to go up against pretty dynamic quarterbacks in the first 6-7 weeks, that ain't easy. But that's why I'm trying to give it some grace. So I'm not ready to hit the panic button just yet. That's why I'm at a 4. If we get to a certain period where we're still, then I think the Broncos game and this Browns game are going to determine how I feel about this defense going forward. So I'm going to wait for those 2 games to determine where I'm feeling and how I'm going. Oh, actually, I had the Bengals game. I'll add that second Bengals game to that because we saw what they did in the first game. I'm hoping they learn from their mistakes in that first game, and we'll see how they handle Jamar Chase and T. Higgins in game 2. So
give it 3 more weeks. Okay.
I'll give it 3 more weeks
to see any improvement.
Exactly, to see if they give us something. And again, I don't want to move us on too quickly, but we don't know what moves are going to be made as the trade deadline approaches on November 5th.
That's true.
Let's see what happens. Give it some time, and let's not press the panic button just yet.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not ready either. I already told you how I feel. I feel like we've shown flashes. We just got to put it all together. That's all. And then more from the pass rush, and we should be okay.
Yeah, man,
I feel like a lot of other people are really panicking, but not me. Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah, man. Just get the pass rush up. Because once the pass rush gets good, the DB's job get a lot easier. And we're not getting beat over the top. We're not getting burnt over the middle. You know what I mean? Just make your DB his job easier. And once this pass rush gets right, we'll be fine. But until then, we're just going to have to
Yeah.
keep scratching and
A lot
clawing.
of it is scheme too, I think. I mean, and Zachary Orr's scheme is a little bit weird. We don't blitz hardly at all. But you saw when we did back on the from Darius Washington. I think we need to mix in a little bit more blitzing. You don't have to go crazy like Wink Martindale, but just you got to just disguise your coverage a little bit better. I feel like we're just coming out in a lot of vanilla basic defenses. We're just not a lot as it's not that hard to pick apart. So I think we just got. I think Zachary Orr needs to get a little bit more creative, and that's just going to come with experience. I think he might just be trying to play it safe, not trying to call anything stupid to put us in a bad way or put us in a bad spot. So I don't know. We'll see. There's a lot of moving parts, and Dean Pease is there too to help, mentor and reinforce things. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what's going on. I know they're asking a lot from Roquan. Somebody pointed it out on Twitter. I think it was Cole Jackson on Twitter where he was talking about, we were running a lot of double mug type of things. I don't know if you play Madden, what that, double mug is, where the linebackers are standing over the A gap and they're asking him to run out and cover the flats. I mean, that's kind of hard to do when you're standing right in front of the
right in
center.
the middle of that D line, yeah.
So before we all get too carried away on Roquan looks slow or Roquan sucks this year or whatever, they're asking him to do a lot, and some of this could be unreasonable. So just things to keep in pay attention to. So we'll see how Zachary Orr responds with his play calling and see how the communication goes. So that's my main things, main three things. Shore up the pass rush, shore up the coverages. Don't have anybody running free open. Like if you get beat, you get beat, but don't let people just have wide open holes in your coverage. Okay, and then shore up the scheme a little bit, and we should be okay. All right. So other things that happened around the league, looking at our AFC North foes, Browns beat the Bengals 21-14 in Cleveland. First time Burrow has won in Cleveland since 2017. What'd I say? Browns beat Bengals, Bengals beat Browns for the first time forever. I mean, listen, it could have happened. But yeah, whatever. Bengals beat the Browns 21-14. Yeah, first time they've won in Cleveland in years. So that was big for them to stay alive in the race, or just alive in general for their season. Now they're at 3-4. Browns drop to 1-6. Pittsburgh gets a win on Sunday Night Football against the New York Jets, who look pretty awful. So division standings are still the same. Ravens are up by 3 games on the Bengals because they beat them, and then Pittsburgh, they are tied at 5-2, atop the division. So yeah, the division's still pretty close. Pittsburgh is hanging around. Russell Wilson got his first start, and the Jets could not get the job done after jumping out to a 15-6 lead, even after trading for Devontae Adams just a couple days before the game. So yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not ready to give the Steelers too much credit yet, but they have scored 30 points 2 games in a row. But at the same time, they've played 3-2-5 teams, so I don't really think that they are anything special. No offense. Call me a hater. Maybe I am a hater, but I still can't. I don't feel like they're that good. They don't. If they had played the quarterbacks we've played, I don't think they'd have that many wins. I really don't. They've played some pretty easy teams overall. Falcons, Broncos, Chargers, who seem to not be very good either. Colts, who they lost to. Cowboys, who they lost to, which was pretty embarrassing. Then they played Las Vegas Raiders, Jets, and now Giants on Monday. Like, their schedule's a cakewalk. So we'll see what they're about later in the year when they play Kansas City, Baltimore Ravens twice, Philadelphia, and a couple other teams. So we'll see.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm looking at the schedule right now. It's going to be pretty tough. I mean, after the Giants anyway, because they got Commanders, us, Browns, Bengals, Browns, Eagles, us again, Chiefs, Bengals.
Okay, so they got to play Cincinnati twice with Burrow. Last year they got bailed, didn't have to play Burrow at all. So
who's
yeah,
been cooking. We got to give it to Burrow. He's been cooking. I know he's a rival, but he has been cooking.
Well, I just hope he plays against Pittsburgh and doesn't, get out for the games for those. Because whatever. So anyway, I think the other shoe is going to drop eventually on the Steelers. I just think I know Meg Tomlin is this and that, but I just can't see them doing much. I'm sorry. They're kind of like that fly on the wall that just won't go away. Like it's still there, and you're never going to catch it unless you get a fly swatter. But you don't have a fly swatter at your house, so you just let it live there and sit on the wall all day for the next 3 weeks. So it's just like they're there, but are they a real threat? We'll see.
Yeah, I just think when it comes to the Steelers, I mean, again, Mike Tomlin, I love him as a coach.
I don't.
Even he's a rival.
He's a cheater.
I got respect for Tomlin.
I know
But
you know
I
what I'm
mean, dang,
talking about too. Thanksgiving
I know,
2013.
But when he stepped out on the field,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
definitely cheating. But anyway, go ahead.
but yeah, man, when it comes to the Steelers, it's just man, even like when it comes to, it's kind of been like the Chiefs this season. You know what I mean? Mahomes has not played great, but damn, that defense keeps them in games. And I kind of feel the same way about the Steelers. It's kind of like their defense. I mean, if you look at the Falcons, for example, 18-10, not really a high scoring game, but you hold the Falcons, what is supposed to be a high powered offense, to 10 points, right? Broncos, they don't have a lot of offensive firepower. Can't really say much. You hold them to 6
And remember, they
points.
played these teams at the beginning of the year before they even found their footing yet either.
Right. Chargers, I mean, you hold them to 10 points.
They have no
24.
Chargers literally have nobody on offense aside from Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah.
Who do they have
to
throw it to? I'll wait.
Johnson.
I'll wait. Yeah. Keenan Allen gone. Mike Williams gone.
I mean, you give up the most points they've given. The most points they've given up this year was, I think this is when Flacco played. When they played the Colts. Yeah, they gave up 24 points to the Colts. No, I'm sorry. They gave up 27 points to the Colts in a loss. And then they gave up 20 points to the Cowboys in a loss. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's defensively, they'll always be in games. I don't really – their offense – Russ looked good against the Jets. I'm not going to lie. It took him a minute, but he started to get it together later in the second half. But I don't know. We'll see.
I'll tell you what,
see what this team does.
We have zero excuse to lose to them this year. We have no effing excuses.
We said that last year.
Well, this year we have even more no excuses because of Derrick Henry and how well we've been rolling on offense. There is no reason we should be in a close game with those garbages. Well, I'm okay. They're not garbage, but I'm tired of losing to them. They're not that good. We shouldn't have lost to them last year. It took 9 drops for them to beat us by 3 or 6. So
all I'm gonna say is, in the AFC North, we've allowed the most points from opponents at 180. Steelers have allowed the least amount of points at 101. So we take it from there and see how it goes for the rest of the year.
The 2 and 5 teams, I mean, that's kind of not that hard to do. But anyway, we'll see. Now, if you guys were, waking up to go to work this morning, you may have saw by chance that there was breaking news in the NFL from your best friend Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, etc., that DeAndre Hopkins has now become a member of the Kansas City Chiefs in the most highway robbery of fashions you'll ever see for just a 5th-round pick. That is absolutely unbelievable. And I know he's getting old, but you can't even throw a player in there? Like, really? Like, that? I don't know how the NFL lets that go, except that they love the Chiefs. There's something with the Chiefs. Did the Patriots ever get bailed this badly? This might be worse than the Patriots on how they just let things slide with flat penalties and ridiculous trades. I mean, I can't believe that they just got Hopkins, and that just may save their season if he's pretty good. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, Hopkins is reliable hands. He's always been consistent, and I feel like that's kind of what the Chiefs need right now is consistency. And I hate saying what they need because we need to beat them, but they were lacking that. They were lacking wide receiver consistency due to the fact that all the wide receivers are hurt. I mean, they lost Hollywood Brown before he could even step onto the field. They lost Rashee Rice, who's going to most likely be out for the year. Actually, no, he is out for the year. I apologize. And then Juju Smith-Schuster, he's out with, I think, a foot injury.
Hamstring.
So, hamstring, thank you. So, I mean, they don't have any receivers. And they pulled the trigger. I mean, honestly, though, if I'm the Titans, I'm really surprised that they even – you saw how desperate the Chiefs were. Like, the fact that you didn't want to up the price on them a little bit is, like, wow.
Yeah.
I heard a report that Hopkins has great relationship with Titans management. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but like you saw the Chiefs wanted wide receiver help, and you could have been like, dude, let me get a third for that. You know what I'm saying? Or a second for that. Like you could have did something. But
it's not the fact that they actually pulled the trade off. It's the fact of the price for the trade is crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm surprised they did not like up that price, knowing the situation that the Chiefs were in. And you know what? F the Titans, because they want to see the Chiefs succeed. But when we wanted Derrick Henry last year, they wanted to, oh no, I don't think this is gonna work. Like that's just ridiculous. So it's always been F the Titans, and it's continued to be F the Titans because they decide they want to pull this BS off. And I swear to goodness, if we gotta see the Chiefs in the playoffs, if I'm looking at D-Hop on my screen, I'm gonna be a little upset because honestly, I wanted D-Hop. I'm not gonna lie, I would love D-Hop on this team. And if I knew the price was a conditional fourth-round pick, I would have signed, sealed, and delivered that trade in 3 seconds for D-Hop.
Well,
I would have.
I'll be honest. I think we have more important things we need to be trying to trade for. That being a pass rusher, somebody that can wreck the game for the other team consistently. And I know we have a pass rush by committee, but we need people to wreck games like Kyle Van Noy was for the first 4 games or whatever, because he's kind of gone away a little bit. So
I mean, he has like 6 sacks though. He's not playing terrible.
I don't know. He's not, but
yeah, but it can't just be him. But I get what you're saying in that regard.
It needs to be somebody that wrecks the game. That needs to be a threat every game we play. I mean, Kyle Van Noy was going crazy for those 3 games, and then he got 6 sacks in 3 games, right? Or was it 4? So. I can't remember.
It might have been like 3 or 4 games. I
remember he had like 2 sacks a game for like 3 straight games, I thought. But then he disappeared. Like, we need somebody that doesn't disappear. We need somebody that's like a TJ Watt. Doesn't have to be that dynamic because he's a generational talent, but just somebody who could generate something consistently and doesn't, oh, hi, I'm here for 3 games. Oh, then I'm gone for 4 games. Oh, here I am for 1, and I'm gone for 2. Like somebody can do something every single game. You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying.
Because I'm not discrediting the season for Kyle Van Noy, but let's be honest, we haven't seen him that much. We haven't ever since he had that outburst. We didn't see him at all in the Bengals game. We saw him yesterday on 1 play, or Monday, not yesterday. Monday.
He had 1 sack on Monday night.
It's just it's not enough. We need more.
Yeah, I think, and you can definitely chime in when I say this, but I just don't think the Ravens should be stagnant this year at the trade deadline.
Right.
And I say this because, and I was talking about this earlier. Right now, if you look at our season, the script is the same script from last year. The Ravens look like the best team in football. Lamar Jackson is the MVP. The offense is firing on all cylinders. What does that remind you of? It reminds you of the team from last year.
Well, except the defense was top 5.
Well, except the defense, yeah. But like as far as the script from last, I mean, this is almost damn near the same thing. Like again, best team in football. People are already calling Lamar the MVP. Offense is balling. We're knocking off juggernauts. Like it's the same thing from last year. And then what happened last year? We were stagnant at the deadline. We didn't make a move, and we just went in with the roster that we had. I mean, mind you, we didn't finish terribly. We finished like 13-4, 14-3.
Yeah, it was good.
Like it was a good season. Yeah, but like at the end of the day, we saw that the Chiefs came into our house. They kicked us out of the playoffs. Like I just don't think we have to remember last year and realize that being stagnant at the deadline did not help at all last year. It didn't. I mean, now this year is different. We have Derrick Henry, who helps Lamar tremendously, by the way. I'm not acting like Derrick Henry does nothing for us as a team. But, I mean, this defense is like steps below what it was last year. And then when you take into account that the offense is clicking on all cylinders, I don't want to have to get into shootouts almost every time to win games. I don't. Like, that's not sustainable. That's not going to get us to the bowl. We need to be able to take control of games and then maintain that control. And right now we're not doing it. And I don't think this is the time to be complacent. I think this is the time now to be more aggressive. We've seen Lamar get better every single year. This offense gets better every single year.
Who do we get? What do we get?
I don't know, but I'm not here for hey, this guy's kind of good. We need a playmaker. We need a playmaker, not on the offensive end, but on the defensive end of the ball. Whatever move we make, I need it to be on the defense. I can live with this offense because it's been playing really, really well. And I love seeing Bateman play great. Zay's great. Isaiah, Mark, Derek, Justice Hill. When Keaton comes back, he's going to be a demon. We all know these things. This offense can move. Whatever move we need to make, I'm not going to lie. I don't want to say F those picks, but I'm not going to lie, F those picks. Because right now, we're in win now mode. You see what I'm saying?
Let's go get Zadarius Smith. Let's bring him in.
I mean, if it's necessary, like whatever it takes, you go get a playmaker who's going to help us get over the hump.
Last year, I don't think we really needed one because we had playmakers on both sides of the ball. I mean, and, they had brought in that playmaker, that being Odell Beckham Jr., right before the season started. So I don't feel like last year that was a must. This year, it is a must. It is 100% a must.
It's a must.
This year, we need to go out and get somebody off the edge, a pass rusher. If we can get a dynamic pass rusher, that will move mountains for this defense. It really will. It really, really will, because then we can add them into the rotation, keep other guys fresh. And just somebody that can just wreak havoc consistently. That's who we need. I mean, I wouldn't even be opposed to trying to bring back Clowney. I really wouldn't. Just, because how good he was last year.
My only thing is about Clowney, and to rebuttal that point, my only thing about Clowney is we had him last year. He played in that AFC Championship game.
True.
And you know what I mean? And this is no offense to Clowney. I love what he did for us last year. He had a resurgence with us. I love that for him. But dude, I don't know how they do it. I don't know, but we need a stud. And we need something, because I don't want to go against Mahomes again and then it's the same script. I really don't.
Well, we also need to score more than 10 points.
I agree with that sentiment as well.
Mainly on the game plan.
And that's just something that Monken has to figure
out
to scheme against that defense.
We can sit here and talk about that all we want, but a lot of it is execution. We just got to execute in the playoffs, in those big games mainly. Not to jump the gun, because we still got a lot of regular season left, but that's the main thing. I mean, I still think we need to get somebody on the trade deadline, but we got to execute in January.
I agree.
We were the better team. We should have beat them last year. I think we can beat them this year with the roster that we have now. We were almost beat them week 1. I think we feel pretty good about our chances if we play them again. If we were in the playoffs right now, just envisioning the way we're playing right now, and we had the Chiefs on Sunday, I think we'd have a pretty good chance of beating them, especially with the way we're playing on offense and the way that they're stinking up the bed on their offense. And I know you can say what you want about the defense, but I don't think they're going to have any chance of stopping us the way we're doing and executing on offense unless we get on our own way. That's my opinion.
I mean, I get your point.
So just execute, but let's not go there yet, because I feel like I'm taking it away to playoff time. But
I know. I get your. I was gonna say I get your point. I get your point on that. I mean, right now offensively, I don't think we're clicking on all cylinders.
No,
but honestly, the way that Steve Spagnuolo defense is playing right now, I don't know.
But we had nothing figured out on offense the first week, and we almost won. I mean, we had no scheme.
That's true.
Didn't have an identity. Lamar was just running crazy and just doing what he was ever trying to do to win, and we lost by a toe. I mean, they've got to go down at that point. But anyway, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, but you hit everything on the nose, I think, in my opinion. This is not the time, again, when you get to this trade deadline, before the trade deadline, I don't care. But you need to make a move. This is not the year to just sit back and be comfortable with what you have. I'm sorry. I'm not, this isn't going to win it. I'm sorry. Right now, with defensively, I just don't think we're going to win it. I think right now, you go out there and you go get somebody who's going to come on this defense and be an instant impact. That's it, in my humble opinion, because this is not the year to do it. This is the boner. I know the Chiefs just got D-Hop. I know they just got him. D-Hop is a stud. Not taking that away from them. This is the most vulnerable the Chiefs will be offensively. I'm telling you this right now, because next year they will get Rashee Rice back. Hollywood most likely re-signs with them. Pacheco will be back. Let's not get any of this twisted. I don't know if Kelsey plays next year. I think he signed a 2-year extension. He probably plays next year. I don't know. This is the most vulnerable they're going to be offensively. You need to take advantage of this now and go out there and go get someone on defense who's going to help you get past them. It's just
we'll see if they do.
That.
We still got a couple months left, too. We'll see where the teams stack up by the end of November, approaching December. We still got a lot of games left before we start making it. The Chiefs could get it going. We'll see. I don't know. But, yeah, as of now, they haven't. Yeah, there's a lot of what ifs, a lot of predictions that we're on cloud nine when it comes to trying to figure out what teams are doing. So expect a lot of craziness for these teams in the next couple of weeks. Not just Baltimore, every team around the NFL. So we'll see. Something to look forward to. But yeah, shout out for the Ravens. They're winners of 5 straight. They're now 5-2. Tied for first in the AFC North. Tied for like third or fourth in the AFC. So they're in pretty good shape right now, especially after starting 0-2. So shout out to them.
Yeah, we're third in the AFC right now.
Yeah, good. So, as well as we're playing right now on offense, at least, still room to grow. So that's the silver lining about all this. Like they've won 5 in a row and they're still not playing their best. So, plenty of time to clean things up. So I'm not worried yet. But anyway, yeah, we're gonna go up and get on up out of here. This was a fun game to watch on Monday night. So now we're back in action at 1:00 on Sunday against Cleveland. We'll be back for a pregame show, hopefully in the next few days. But yeah, it was a crazy, exciting Week 7. Hope your team won. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for tuning in with us tonight and clicking on this video. This will be up on YouTube in just a minute. If you're watching this from there, please leave a like and a subscription if you enjoyed. And feel free to reach out, DM us, or whatever. If you want to be on the show, we'd be down to have you as well. We got to get some more guests back on here, Dom. I think it's been a little bit.
I thought we need to start getting back on.
Yeah, let's get back on them. Yeah. So yeah, thanks again for tuning in. We'll catch you guys in the next few days. You have any last words you want to say before we get up and out of here?
No, man. It was a good win Monday night. Let's get ready for Cleveland on Sunday. Looking forward to that one.
That's right. Second division battle for the Baltimore Ravens coming up this weekend. Let's get to 2-0 on the road. That would be fantastic. Can't wait to talk about it. But in the meantime, tomorrow night, I think we've got the first game of Week 8. That's going to be Thursday Night Football between the Rams and the Vikings. Should be an interesting one. So yeah, we'll catch you guys in a few days. Thanks for stopping by. This is Dom and Gonz. We're going to be signing out. And go Ravens, baby.